We here at Skunk Post wanted to recap the last decade's most memorable moments. That was until I came across this 100-year-old footage. Give it a gander.
Hello all, I'm Archibald T. Brendenhauser III.
And as always, I'm Vernon Q. Blinkworth.
And you're watching the Grand Ole News Show.
The Grand Ole News Show. It's the real McCoy.
Tonight's broadcast is brought to you by Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola, twice the cocaine of other cocaine tonics. Well, it's the eve of 1910. The first decade of this century is in the books. So, on tonight's broadcast, we're counting down some important moments from 1900 to now. Vern?
Thanks. That's right, Archie. We'll also be making some predictions for the next 100 years. But first, let's look back on this decade. It all began in our fair city, Buffalo, New York.
The Queen City started this century in the spotlight. When the world gathered here in 1901 for the Pan American Expedition, during which the city showcased the power and beauty of electricity.
Call me crazy, Arch, but I have a feeling that this electricity stuff is just a fad. Which reminds me, tonight's broadcast is also sponsored by Renew Life's Violet Ray. Got a touch of the rheumatism? Then you need Violet Ray.
I couldn't agree more, but when I was a kid, I used candles. Candles work.
The Pan Am Expo is also infamous for the assassination of President William McKinley by anarchist Leon Czolgosz, and the immediate inauguration of Theodore Roosevelt at Buffalo's Wilcox Mansion.
Yikes! Forgot about that.
Slipped my mind too. You know, some people say that assassination cursed the city, that our population will dwindle and our football and hockey teams will be doomed to failure forever.
I'm not entirely sure what a hockey team is, Vern, but I will say this. Our population will only continue to rise. People will always need steel.
I actually heard someone say we should open our waterfront to leisure activities. But where would the factories go?
Great point. American work ethic will never dwindle.
Next up, the Wright brothers build a flying contraption. Some people think these things are the bee's knees, but I'll be honest here. I can't see flying becoming popular in the future. I mean, who wants to fly through the air? Sounds like the devil's work to me.
A good stiff walk next to a wagon. That's what these kids need.
And of course, in 1905, Albert Einstein formulated his theory of relativity. Now this is stuff you can really get behind. It doesn't take a phrenologist to see that he has the cranium of a doctor. Also, did you know Albert is German, Arch?
I did not.
I like those Germans. I do declare they'll be a great ally to the rest of the world this century. Mark my words.
That leads us to our predictions for the next 100 years. Vern has already said the Germans would be our closest allies. Couldn't agree more there, Vern. But I also think pretty much everything people need has already been invented. People will farm the moon for space slaves by 1940, and we'll never have a Negro president. Vern?
In addition to those, Archie, which I must say are spot on, I must say I believe our Savior Jesus Christ will return to us in 1910. Humans will be capable of traveling through time in 5 years, and ants will be our masters by the midpoint of the century.
What the hell was that?
Skunk Post.